So Outriders just received a very big patch and update, and guess what? They got rid of that annoying motion blur from the game. At least you have the option now to go into the menu and toggle it on or off. Of course, I think a lot of us are going to be wanting it to be off. So I am absolutely hyped about this. Plus, the official Outriders social media website or, social media sites have posted this right here, an entire thread about what has been updated in the game. They also replied out here to the community. You guys have been asking about loot changes, the inventory disappearing issue where weapons would disappear. So we're going to be talking about that and the official word on what is going on with further updates. So hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And we've got more Outriders news to go over. So let's do this. First of all, we are going to be starting right here with that official word from the official Outriders social media team. They go on to say this: the Outriders demo has been updated on Steam, PS4, and PS5. A similar patch for Xbox is currently going through testing. We will let you know as soon as we have news about its release. Patch notes thread. So overall, what has been changed is added motion blur toggle. Absolutely thrilled about this. Matchmaking improvements, bug fixes, and crash resolutions. Many more improvements. Let's see what they dive into right here. General patch notes include the following: added a motion blur toggle for PC, PS4, and PS5. Of course, we're going to be seeing this on Xbox down the road. They say made minor tweaks to frame rate output for certain items and cutscenes. However, we are working on a more comprehensive fix for the future PC and PS4 and PS5. Now, they say this made improvements to cut down on the time it takes to matchmake on PC and PS4, PS5. Made other minor improvements and fixes as well. Now, additional PC-specific patch notes: they fixed a crash that repeatedly occurred when opening the menu or inventory, fixed a bug that deletes player gear if their connection drops out during a transition. So that is currently being addressed. There's more notes on that in just a moment here, so stay tuned. It says improved subtitle display and synchronization during the Bad Day quest. And then also for additional PS4, PS5 specific patch notes: fix store links on the buy now button in the lobby, fix a bug that was causing an audio desynchronization in cutscenes. I've noticed that the cutscenes have improved greatly with that, by the way. I've actually tested that out and I'm absolutely thrilled. It was so freaking distracting when the lip syncing was off. So I am thrilled that they are tackling these issues already in the demo. So that is really cool to note. Now, Square Enix was out on Reddit and they did also reply to some issues as well. The biggest one that a lot of you are worried about is suddenly having your legendary weapons or any type of gear or items suddenly disappear from the game. So this is what they had to say about this. Indeed, we resolved one version of the bug, but we are still tracking down other ways it might rear its ugly head. That's why we didn't want to preemptively declare that the issue as a whole has been resolved. So they're still looking into it. It seems like they are slowly but surely tackling it. Now, out on Twitter, Pure Nothingness says this: no doubt players want to know if there's any progress regarding the disappearing inventory situation. Outrider says this is one of our highest priority investigations currently. It's taking some time and we want to make sure that we properly address the resolution as well as any restoration questions before we provide conclusive news about it. So, they're not only looking into the bug itself, but they want to be able to provide players that perhaps did lose their inventory a way to restore their weapons, gear, and items. So that is noteworthy that they're going to be looking into that in the future. So hopefully by the time the game releases, they don't have this big inventory glitch problem, because I think the game, I really hope that it's a success, and it would really suck if something like this would bring it down. So this is definitely an issue they need to resolve quickly. Now also, Kel says this: hey Outriders, just in case, since playing I was encounter a very long load up time to play the game. I'm on PS5 as it stays on saying signed in, but I have to wait possibly 5 minutes to properly sign in. Have you got any information or know that it exists? Thank you, Outriders. Now, Outriders did reply. They said, we're aware of this and investigating. It's taking far too long for some people, but it shouldn't be completely broken. It is, however, on our radar, so they're looking into that issue. If you're having the problem where you're sitting there at loading screens for too long, that is going to be apparently looked into and hopefully addressed in the future. I just have to say kudos to People can fly the Outriders social media team, Square Enix, for being on it about, really addressing these issues and open to responding to people so very quickly. So I'm super impressed by it, to be blunt. All right, now let's keep going. Darkness says this: are you aware of an issue on PS5 that causes menus to randomly pop up? It's very inconvenient to be surrounded by enemies that I'm about to shoot, then suddenly a map or inventory pops up. It happens very frequently. Outrider says, we are aware of this. It might be related to touchpad sensitivity, but we're looking into it. You know what? I've had this same issue, and it's like, am I doing something wrong? I think the touchpad is just way too sensitive on PS5, so good to know that that's also something they're looking into as well. Now, a lot of you might note that, hey, what about us Xbox users? Is this going to be how it is, where PS5, PS4, and PC have the advantage and get the update first? Well, we got a reply about that. Stitch says this: will the Xbox update patches always be delayed behind PC PS? If so, can you share the reasons? Outriders did respond. They said, we have no intention to split patches by platform in general going forward. We hope to bundle patches together in the future. There are just some circumstances where it's difficult to avoid doing so. So yeah, going forward, it looks like patches will be releasing simultaneously on all platforms. So that is really, really good news. Now, let's see what everyone is saying about this recent update. How are you all responding? It's really good news. The community seems to be very, very happy. So this is what Playbay goes on to say. I gotta say, they are in the very least nailing communication. That's wild, even if it needs to be pointed out. Nonetheless, awesome job. People can fly. Hybro agrees, says the whole model has been great. The free demo was good enough for me to play 10 hours in pre-order. Other people are pumping dozens of hours into it and have also likely pre-ordered. Still others played it and decided not to pre-order, which saves unhappy players, probably boosts the review scores, and reduces refunds. I never would have pre-ordered without the demo, and if there was no way to test it, probably would have waited a year or so for it to go on sale. There's a pretty game-breaking issue, inventory disappearing, but the communication has been good, and the demo likely provided them with a lot more information to begin fixing it. They aren't mentioning words about it or dodging the issue. You're dead on. Crazy that we're here praising a game company for talking about bugs in their game, but People Can Fly is actually doing this the way I'd want it done. Hell yes. Totally agree. It sucks that the bug even exists in the first place with this game, but at least they're working around the clock, it seems, to really address the core issues that we have been complaining about. They've already knocked down the horrible motion blur in the game, which for me was absolutely totally distracting, and I could not stand it. And now the game looks so much better. If we go back here to the game without the motion blur, look at that. That looks beautiful. Like, dude, this is starting to look like a legit game here. It was so distracting for me personally, but let me know what you guys think. Are you going to turn on the motion blur or turn it off, sound off? Now, mentioning that, let's go to your top comments from the previous Outriders video about this bug that actually deletes legendary weapons. Of course, we got an update today about how they are actually patching that over time and reducing that occurrence, it seems. So that's great news. Let's see what you guys had to say about it. Insane goes on to say the following: the inventory wipe bug happened to me on PlayStation within like 10 hours of playing, so thankfully I didn't have much to lose, but it definitely taught me to delete every legendary as soon as I get it, so I can get the mods if I haven't already, and if I have dismantled that one before, I just keep it, and if it disappears, it's whenever. I guess I can't really do anything about it. Now, apparently, if you do have your weapon, your legendary weapons, and you absolutely love them, make sure you have them equipped in as your equipable weapons. So apparently that really does help reduce the chances significantly of your legendary weapon disappearing. Now, also, if you do see a legendary weapon drop, make sure you activate a save point in the game, either through fast traveling or purchasing a weapon or something like that. That is super important to make sure that you don't have a weapon disappear. It seems like people are having weapons disappear, perhaps because they aren't able to save the game in time, and then they have a disconnect or something is going on with that. So yeah, that's really noteworthy to get that autosave function occurring in the game. Now, BTZ says this, the game looks like and feels like Anthem and Remnant had a baby. Totally agree. A lot of people are saying this is the Anthem we never had. Could actually be possible that we are getting a game that can actually act like Anthem and be something that has a staying power. You know, Anthem, it was so disappointing to hear that EA decided to kill off Anthem next completely. Honestly, I didn't even make a video about that happening. I was so disappointed. I was like, I knew it was going to happen, but I really hope this game right here, Outriders, has that long-lasting staying power. Of course, they don't have a live service plan currently for this game, but I do hope that, you know, there's enough people interested in the long term where they start really creating content post-launch. All right, now, let's see here. G Fox Gaming says, I hope they create a summoner class, summon defeated monsters to the battlefield to fight for you. That would be really interesting for sure. Lawhorn says, this bug only happened when they fixed the farming chest in the reputable mission, and that guy is not the one that's missing his whole gear as well. Now, this is interesting. It says, you should talk about how they nerfed the legendary rates. Me, a buddy, and his YouTuber friend, hours straight today, and no one got anything. All separate game. Farmed, excuse me, for 7 hours straight today, and no one got anything. All separate games, not co-op. And then he says, yesterday I got 2 and 3 hours from the game. Then the game went down. We were doing the rescue, the captain mission, Terra Infirma, or whatever. That's like the best way to get legendaries, of course. And yes, they did actually nerf the legendary drop rates, I believe, simply because they want to be able to have a lot of legendaries on offer for those of you that want the full game experience. And they said that a lot of people are going through the demo and farming legendaries almost too much, more so than they expected. And they think that that could actually negatively impact the final game for a lot of people. So I do get where the developers are coming from with that one. So I say don't overgrind the demo. That's just my opinion. Enjoy it, you know, and then wait for the full game and then really have a lot more content to grind with that game, with the full game. All right. There you have it, the latest happenings around Outriders. I am absolutely thrilled about this right here, the motion blur once again. Being able to toggle that on and off. Look at this. It looks absolutely beautiful now. This gets me excited that they're willing to update the game this quickly and listen to feedback this quickly. Absolutely huge for Outriders. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates and news about Outriders and more open world gaming goodness. And I will see you all next time. Take care.